Our next speaker was associated with Jet Airways for 8 years, rising through the ranks at the beginning of a career as a flight attendant to in-flight supervisor and then to the challenging role of looking after grooming for the in-flight department and recruitment of cabin crew. Her contribution in creating a strong service and image ethic was recognized by Jet Airways, which selected her as the face of the airline, thus featuring her on the website and promotions in 2003. She is a master image consultant from the Federation of Image Professionals International, UK, which makes her the senior most image consultant on the Indian subcontinent. Ladies and gentlemen, the co-founder of the Image Consulting Business Institute and the president of the Image Management Professional Association. Please welcome Mrs. Suman Agarwal.
How many of you know Suman Agarwal? Very few hands. Oh. How many of you know Suman? I would introduce you today to Suman, because most of you know Suman Agarwal as a director, as a master image consultant, as a trainer, but nobody knows who Suman is. Let me share my experience, my journey of experience in the last 16 years. At the age of 20, when everybody is planning their career, I was planning on deciding what to name my daughter. Yes. It's a very strange experience because most of the people who are here think that I had it all with me. But trust me, I've grown. I have literally grown from nowhere to somewhere. And let me also share with you today, it is a very, very emotional experience that all throughout, life has not been easy. It was tough. It was very, very challenging. When I was born in a joint family. It was a very, very exciting experience while I was a child. However, I was the first child in the family. And when you have a first child in the family, there are a lot of expectations associated with that child. When you have expectations coming from all across, you are almost like a punching bag. And the expectation was that I had to become a doctor, nothing else. Either I would become a doctor or I was a useless child. So it was very important for me to understand and realize, until 8th standard, I believed that I wanted to become a doctor. Until I reached my 10th standard and I realized that that was not my cup of tea. I could not see blood, I could not see wounds because I used to faint. And I realized that I am just not interested in maths and science because I could not score anything more than 30% in maths. This was just not my cup of tea. I was not a science student because English used to really attract me. Economics used to attract me, excite me, thrill me. But anything to do with chemistry, physics, and biology, it used to give me nausea. So that is when I voiced it out to my family that, Dad, I'm not meant to become a doctor. The next thing that I hear from my father was, then you're just good for nothing. Absolutely hopeless. I was born to become a doctor, but I could not fulfill the desires of the family. My uncles, my aunts, everybody thought that I would be a doctor because everybody else in my relation was a doctor. So I was supposed to be one of them. However, because of being a punching bag, I could not become a doctor, yes, but I could not become anything else. I could only become a rebel. And I was a rebellious child. I shaved my head, literally. And I had one earring because I was a follower of George Michael. I loved George Michael, I still love him. And I love all his old songs. Faith was one of my favorite. I listened to Faith, but I still believed that I was useless because everybody made me feel that I was useless. I was good for nothing because I was not a doctor. At the age of 18, I left my house and I moved out. I took some wrong decisions in life because I was a rebel. A lot of things happened, and one of the most disastrous thing that happened was that I was a college dropout. Yes. So all those people who felt that probably they lack skills, no, it is not the scenario. Let me also share another experience getting into an airline. Well, I never applied for the airline. Somebody else did. And I just by fluke got the opportunity to face an interview. And when I faced an interview of an airline and I cleared it, I just could not believe that I've cleared the interview. Because I realized that maybe I'm not meant to do anything. I was a useless child. When I faced the interview and they told me that you're shortlisted, for 3 days I just could not believe. I thought somebody's joking with me. And then, when I finally realized that I'm already there as a part of the training team, the trainer team of Jet Airways, that is where I started realizing that maybe I'm not as useless as I felt. And that is when I sat in front of the mirror for some time and spoke to myself. God has given me an opportunity. Do I need to avail or do I need to leave it? This is the time to decide. And that is where I took my first step. On my daughter's first birthday, I entered into Jet Airways Training Center for the first time. 20th of May, 1996. And that was the first day of my training. And then there was no looking back. Since then, I have just evolved and evolved and evolved. The only thing that kept me going and growing was that I strongly believed that whatever you do, you have to be the best in it. And that is what has made me what I am today.